I am that I am, and an ascended master, a sovereign, ascended master. I am Sam. Sam is not my real name. It is an acronym for Sovereign Ascended Master. I did not want my real name to be known right away. It's not quite time. In a few years, the time will be right, and I'll be getting to know some of you, Shamra. And this is all a little bit unusual for me. Life right now is all a little bit unusual. It was a little bit strange coming here today, being invited. But in another way, the path was somewhat easy because my oversoul, from which Tobias also came from, was used to this channel, has used this channel known as Kaoldra in the past, but it is still a little bit. One day I'd like to, well, one of the things I dream about is one day having a big party at my farm. A party for realized masters. And there's others on the planet right now, not just me. And there's quite a few more coming along. That's what Tobias tells me. He says there is a little over 1,500 ascended masters on the planet. But he said in the next few years, the number is going to triple. It's going to triple again within a couple of years after that. And he tells me that, well, in my lifetime, there could be as many as 30,000, 40,000 ascended masters, and I'd like to have them all over for a party. So I'll have to buy a big enough place. But I did read that there was a big party called Woodstock. They had a lot more people than that. And I don't imagine ascended masters are as messy. I came here to tell a bit of a story I'd like to share. I would tell my parents, I would say, today Rafa told me a story about when he was very, very young, just a little puppy, before he was taken away from his mother. And my parents looked at me very, very strange. And then I would tell them another story. I said, Rafa went and sat by an old person today who was very sick. He just sat by them in the park. And then the person died. But Rafa was there to be with them, to comfort them. My parents now said, Sam, dogs don't talk, you're making this up. You're embarrassing us by making these things up. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell your teachers. Don't tell anybody. And stop pretending that you're talking to Rafa. But I couldn't help it. We talked all the time. I would tell my friends about talking with Rafa. And they would all laugh at me. Fortunately, I didn't tell them. I also talked to the trees. I talked to the sky. I talked to the rabbits. I talked to everything. I thought this is what everybody did. And I learned that's not so much. This was my joy in life. I could feel everything. I can feel everything. And it sings, it talks. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have this. I met a young girl a few years later, and I told her about Rafa. I told her her about talking to the water, and to the fire, and to everything. And she was the first person I've ever met that said she did too. And then we talked to each other without words, and we understood everything on a very deep level. We became good friends. We didn't have sex, but we became good friends. And then I told my mother one day, told her about Susan. And Susan and I, we talked without words, and she talked to the birds. She talked to the dead ones too. The dead people that were all around. My mother said I could never see her again. My mother said not only were we both crazy, but we were getting far too close. And then my mother said, next thing you know, we'll have another mouth to feed in this house. I didn't really understand what she meant right away until I learned about sex. Namaste, dear Geoffrey. Namaste. Such beautiful entrance music for me today. Oh, I would like to hear that again over and over. It tickles my soul. It warms my heart. With this lovely music and your beautiful greeting here on this day, I am Kuthumi. It's such a delight to be back with all of you here. I feel into you. I look at you and I think this is not the same person that I was in front of 6, 7 years ago. Oh, back then, the energies in the room were so heavy. It was even difficult to come in.